Hey everybody, welcome to Funnel Hacker TV. I'm Susan Leonardson. You can see that I am by myself, which I will tell you exactly why that is. But we have a special guest joining us. We're going to be doing a lot of updates, so we're going to get into it right after the intro.
We are part of an underground group of entrepreneurs that you've probably never even heard of before. We are funnel hackers, and these are our stories.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Funnel Hacker TV. Again, I'm Susan Leonardson. I'm flying solo today. Ben's not here, but I actually have a special guest that is going to be joining us. But real quick, let me know that you are here. Say hello in the comments and let us know that you're here live. And then also make sure you are signed up to get notifications. Text FHTV to 208-231-3797. And also you can go to FunnelHackerTV. You can see all the past episodes there and make sure you're caught up. We've been doing a lot of FHL speakers on Funnel Hacker TV, and they've been dropping some amazing bonuses that you find out about what they are on Funnel Hacker TV. So make sure you have watched those. You can find them there at FunnelHacker.tv. All right, so I have a special guest joining me today. This person is the communications director at ClickFunnels. You've probably seen her. She's also one of the new hosts of ClickFunnels Radio. So I'm excited to have her come and join us. Please welcome Laura Demetrius.
Hey, everybody. Hey. How's it going?
Good to have you.
Good to be with you today.
Yes. Yeah, we're taking over. We're gonna talk about all kinds of things today. We've got some 2CC news that you guys need to know about. We have the ambassadors have been busy. We have something you need to know about there. We have Marketing Secrets podcast, ClickFunnels radio podcast, like all these things that we need to talk about. We are also going to be highlighting a couple of people in the community. Yeah. And then we have a cool thing to show you at the end too. So let's just get into it. All right. So first things first, did you guys know that we actually have a new 2 Comma Club award winner?
I love this.
I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, the movie, but Barbie hit two or just $1 billion. And so Russell and Todd are giving her a 2 Comma Club
award. Yeah, go Barbie.
So awesome. That's funny, but also like there's some important news that you guys need to know here. What is the deadline for 2 Comma Club applications are on, is it this Wednesday or this Thursday?
I believe
right there, August 9th. Tomorrow, Wednesday.
Yes,
tomorrow.
So it was extended. So we gave everybody a little bit more time. It was going to be, I think, just this past weekend, but there was an extension. We've had some other people send in their applications. So everybody make sure that if you want to walk across the stage and collect that award because you've earned it, go ahead and apply.
Yeah. And that's tomorrow, Wednesday. If you live in the Pacific time zone, that's going to be 12 p.m. Meaning that 12 p.m. to me is not midnight. So 12 p.m. is like noon, right?
So
unless that's a typo.
That's like 24 hours from now.
Yeah. Exactly. So if you want to get your 2 Comma Club award this year, get your application in. We want to see you getting your award. We want to see you at stage 2. So make sure you're going to be at Funnel Hacking Live and get your ticket at funnelhackinglive.com. And then you can be there and walk across the stage. And it's just a fun time. Okay. All right, so we're going to move through this next one too, because I want Laura to be talking about some updates that's going on in her world too. So, but this next one is the ambassadors. So if you guys don't know what the ambassadors are in ClickFunnels, it's a whole team of funnel experts. They're people that are in the community with you. They're answering questions, but they are starting this series called Build an Expert Business in CF 2.0. And they actually started it yesterday. Yesterday was day 1. So if you missed it, go check it out. What they're doing is they're like building a business from scratch and they're showing you how to do it. And we've got Danny and Andy and Tim in there. And then I think we're going to see contributions from ambassadors like James, Curran, Dan Havey, Reedy, probably forgetting some. We have like some amazing ambassadors in there that are killing it. So make sure you go. These are pinned to the top of the Facebook group, of the ClickFunnels official group. You can go check out that one, and it's a 4-part series. So yesterday was part 1. There's 3 more coming, and then that graphic that was showing up at the front of our little video there, that is also pinned in the group. So if you want to check out more of like, okay, well, what should I expect? It's there. You can see all the details in there. So there's so much happening. We want to make sure that you're not missing it, and that you know that you have so many resources that we are trying to provide you, and the team and the ambassadors, to give you what you need. So
yeah. And I highly recommend that if you're a little bit overwhelmed with all the stuff, and I love this series about, starting your expert business, and what Andy, Danny, and Tim and the rest of the team and the ambassadors are all doing with this is literally starting like a faux business from scratch, so that they're building it from the ground up with you to watch. So that if you are a coach, an author, speaker, you're in the expert business, like this is for you if you're just getting started with ClickFunnels. So the really cool thing about it is it's completely foundational. It's starting from scratch, and it's going to go through the entire thing all week long. And they're building and creating so many amazing videos. So I highly recommend that if you're a little overwhelmed by it and you just see so many different videos and replays to start watching, save certain posts to go back and watch later. Like you can actually save, to view them later, and you can do them in an order that makes sense to you, but they're all really, really valuable. So I highly recommend checking those out.
that's a great tip. Yeah. Cause sometimes we're like, oh, I want to go watch that. And I know that I need to, but like I've got something going on today, or I'm not gonna be able to get to it, but you don't want to forget about it.
Yes.
Save it, bookmark the link to the post or whatever you need to do.
So
right?
many times you'll scroll through something and be like, oh, I want to check that out later. And if you don't mark it, there's so much activity happening inside of the community that if you don't mark it right away, or you don't acknowledge it in some way or comment on it, you're probably going to have a hard time finding it again.
Yeah. Awesome tip. Okay. The next thing you should know about, and again, you might need to like save this and come back to it later, is Russell's been dropping some amazing content on the Marketing Secrets podcast. These are, and sorry, we're kind of like just skipping. This is water cooler moment. We're just breezing through this though. This is all linchpin. Like if you can see the titles, we've got part 1, part 2 of building your linchpin. Even the top is PLR funnels using the linchpin. So he's starting to he's dropping awesome content, but notice a lot of it has to do with linchpin. We have Funnel Hacking Live coming up, where we are learning all the parts of linchpin. We're diving into it. Linchpin is the way. Like that's what Russell says. That is what he's focusing on. All of his businesses that he's acquiring and creating, they're all fitting into linchpin. So if you're like, well, how do I do PLR funnels using linchpin? Guess what? There's a podcast episode you can go listen to and figure out how he's doing this. Really awesome content that's just dropping every week and every day sometimes.
More content for you guys to see.
Yes, more. There's more. So I mean, pick what you need, save the rest, come back to it. Okay, Laura, so Russell's actually back now, but he was traveling. So speaking kind of the podcast, because this Friday, Russell's publishing a podcast episode about where he's been traveling. But do you want to talk a little bit about like, what has he been doing?
So some of you guys that are really in tune with what's happening internally here at ClickFunnels probably have noticed that Russell has been a little bit MIA, or he's been posting on social, but he hasn't been here in the office. And what's been kind of wild about the entire month of July is like, it was a very vacation heavy month for a lot of us. We had a lot of leadership that were, traveling or back home or vacationing with their families. And Russell did that exact same thing as well. And that's one thing that I love about working here and working with leadership is everybody sets really great boundaries about the things that they want to do for their personal lives and for their families and their loved ones. And Russell sets such a great example of this with his family. So they went over, they went to Kenya to start their trip. And the whole thing was about giving back. So I don't know if we have any like footage of that, but if you guys haven't seen it already, go back to like Russell's pages. He has incredible coverage of the things that he was doing over in Kenya. And he got to bring his wife and his kids and really celebrate all of the things that they were doing to give back. And it was just a really beautiful story. I loved watching all of his Instagram stories and his Facebook updates and everything that was happening over there. And then after like I think it was at least a full week over in Kenya, they continued their trip with the family and did some really awesome stuff after that. Like, look at that. Look at this footage. I love this. Like, excellent photography and videography. I think Dan Usher and his team were over there too, capturing some of this, and it's so beautiful. I'm actually just like rewatching some of these pictures right now in these videos, and it just like warms my heart seeing all of this. Like what a great leader. We're so lucky to have him. And then after Kenya, they actually went over to Jerusalem, which is super cool. I remember seeing the video of Russell on Instagram stories. It was early in the morning, his time. I think they got up at like 4 or 5 a.m. and they went out on a boat to the Sea of Galilee. And, you know, Russell's talking about like this is where Jesus walked on water. This is where so many profound things happened. And it was just really powerful. And you could just tell in the stillness of that moment that it was really meaningful for him and his family. And I just love that he is able to share some of those behind the scenes. This is my personal life, but I want to share this with you because it means a lot to me. And I think that just shows a lot about his character and who he is as a leader and why we all love him so much.
Yeah. I think we had some footage of Russell's too, but I think that our video stopped working. So if you guys have been following him and you saw some of those posts, like let us know that you got to see it. It was really awesome. I did catch his Israel posts in his story, and it just looked so serene and special, and like what an awesome thing for his family to go in and be able to experience. Is really, really cool to see.
Very cool.
Okay. We'll do water cooler now. We'll do that now. And then get into some ClickFunnels radio, which is your thing, Laura. So what is going on? Like, okay, you've got how many episodes so far have you guys done?
There are 5 episodes already out since we relaunched. That first one after relaunch, as you know, was with Russell, and it was kind of reintroducing the podcast and talking about myself and Chris as the co-hosts, and we're having so much fun with this. We're up to 5 episodes. I think our 6th one comes out this week. They're released every Thursday. There's a really good one coming up. We've already recorded at least 10 episodes. And we're doing something very similar to what you and Ben are doing here at FunnelHackerTV. And with our interviews, especially leading up to Funnel Hacking Live, which is only 50 days away, which is wild to me. We are interviewing a lot of the people who have been announced as speakers at the event. So we have some really, really cool content coming up and some really cool teases about what some exciting speakers are going to be talking about. So be sure to stay tuned for that, because there's some stuff that we can leak a little bit of information on it. And I think it's going to be really, really exciting for people to see like what's in store for all of us during that full week of jam-packed, valuable information from the stage.
Yeah. Okay. So Ben and I talked about ClickFunnels Radio when it was like first relaunching, but I'm sure that there's people watching now that maybe missed that. What is different about, what's been the goal of ClickFunnels Radio as a whole? Like from the time it started, let's start there. What is the goal of that? Yeah.
Really, it's just another channel to serve our customers and people who maybe aren't even yet familiar with ClickFunnels or they're interested in the software. We want to be able to share what's happening internally, but also share the tactical things. And I think that that's what makes having 2 co-hosts together really great about this, because Chris and I can really feed off of each other. We work really well together. He can talk about the entrepreneurial journey of somebody, which is kind of like what I do with the User Spotlight series. But then, he'll ask a certain question about somebody that he knows personally, and he's been partnered with them for a while. And I get to say like, but wait a minute, like you did that with only X amount of followers or X amount of people on your email list. Like, let's talk about that. How did you find success building a funnel and having such a small audience and very little paid ads, or completely with organic traffic, and really getting into the tactical stuff so that people listening can get over that like limiting belief of, that seems too hard for me, or that seems too technically advanced for me, or I don't know, I just don't think I have what it takes. So much of what we do here at ClickFunnels and the success that we see is really just overcoming that mindset of like, I don't think I can do it. The first step is telling yourself that you can. The second step is like understanding the software is pretty simple to use. And if you can build a funnel, you can build a list. And if you can build a list, you have an audience. And if you have an audience, you can sell an offer. Like you can really break it down into small pieces, and it's achievable and it's approachable. And I love having those conversations with all of our users and our inner circle and our top affiliates, and highlighting different people similar to the user spotlights, but in this way, really breaking down their frameworks, their tactics, how they see success, and really how you can apply it to your own business.
Yeah. Well, and you kind of are getting that a little bit with the funnel hacking live speakers, but that we're kind of just in that moment right now where like a lot of the interviews are funnel hacking live speakers, but then when we're kind of beyond that, it's going to be like who should we expect to see coming up in episodes beyond the FHL speakers?
Yeah. And I think the really cool thing about this is there's probably this expectation of like, oh, you know, you have to be a speaker at Funnel Hacking Live, or you have to be in Russell's Inner Circle or Atlas program. That's so not the case. Like, we're doing a lot of FHL content right now. But the cool thing is you can expect to hear from people who are brand new to using ClickFunnels, or just getting started with their business, or our community rock stars that are just like helping and supporting and adding value to people in our Facebook group. You don't have to be successful already. If you have something to share that's valuable and will help somebody else along the way, all you have to do is know a little bit more than the person next to you. And if you know a little bit more, you have something to share with them, and there's a good chance that they want to hear it. So we want to make sure that we're bringing those stories to light.
Oh, I love it. Awesome. And speaking of that, so you mentioned it a little bit that you do the user spotlight interviews too.
Yeah.
And so tell us about your latest one.
Okay, so this one is with Sam Kwok, who was a fantastic interview. I loved speaking with him. And I feel this way about everybody I talk to. I go into these thinking like, oh, I have so many great questions that I want to ask them. Or after doing a little bit of research about their business, or understanding their programs, or their coaching, or their consulting services, or whatever, I personally want to ask all of these questions of like I want to know how you did it. Tell me like what's your secret to, you know, what you've built here with your business. And they end up being such organic conversations where when you get these started and you ask that, like, tell me a little bit about your background and how you got started, it leads to so many things that I wasn't expecting to ask them, because they have so many fascinating stories. And I love when they open up and they get to be a little bit vulnerable, and they're like, you know, I started this business not really knowing if it was going to work out. I had imposter syndrome like crazy, you know, just like this crippling fear of showing their face in front of people. And then you find out like 30, 60, 90 days later, they're like, and now I'm well on my way to getting a 2 Comma Club award. And it's just like, how did that happen? And them getting into the gritty details of starting a business and being absolutely terrified is what I love exposing, because like that is the inspiration.
That's so cool. Once upon a time I had a podcast, and like I got so much out of just talking to people and knowing their stories. And I would ask you kind of mentioned it, of like, I just asked them, like, I want to know how you did this thing. And you just start asking questions like, I could interview you. Like, I want to know I'm going to ask you questions that I want to know answers to. And it's all right there. Like, you guys can just go to the ClickFunnels YouTube channel. There's the ClickFunnels radio episodes. There's the user spotlights there, and Laura's and Chris on ClickFunnels Radio, they're interviewing these people. You get to go and listen to their stories and glean a little bit of information. It's like, we get to go to Funnel Hacking Live and hear stories told there and have things to take away there. But like, what do you do in between Funnel Hacking Lives? Like, to keep that motivation up and to learn, get that little golden nugget. Well, we have so much content that we're putting out there for you. To keep us going, right? In between FHL stuff, to keep us motivated and get a little bit of inspiration.
So many of the people, obviously with ClickFunnels Radio, many of them will be on stage, so they'll be there as well. But I would say a good 90% of the people that I interview for user spotlights also attend Funnel Hacking Live, or they have been attending for several years and they're planning to be there again this year. And what's really cool is like, you feel like you're really getting to know these people. You're getting a good sense of what their business is, but also who they are personally. And it makes it really exciting, especially exciting for me, because I've met some of these people previously, but now it's like I get to go there and I'm like seeking out all of these amazing entrepreneurs and friends now, and you make really great connections. And I love that you have that to look forward to. And by watching these spotlights, you're definitely going to feel like you know them personally. And I encourage you that if you're going to Funnel Hacking Live and you see them, say like, hey, I saw your user spotlight. I love that you're doing this with your business.
What a great icebreaker to be able to go meet people. I saw you.
We can all use those at Funnel Hacking Live. It's a long week. Have some helpful icebreakers. I think will be good for all of us.
Right. Okay. I'm going to just, since we brought it up, I'm going to just mention, and you said that we're down to 50 days left, 50 days until FHL. I'm going to switch our banner on the bottom real quick here. If you guys don't have your Funnel Hacking Live ticket, like, time is running out. Time's running out. FunnelHackingLive.com. Get you the ticket. That's all we're going to plug on it today.
Tickets are flying off the shelves. So come join us. We want to meet you. It's going to be so much fun.
Yes, it is. Okay, actually, funny story. So the first time that I met Laura was at last year's Funnel Hacking Live.
Yeah.
And Laura reached out to me and Andrea Peer because we were running our group and talking about ClickFunnels. And she's like, can I interview you guys while you're here? And so the first time that you and I met was actually like at Funnel Hacking Live, and you interviewed us, and it was a fun experience. I was like, we're getting interviewed.
It's funny. It's a spoiler alert, but Andrea will be coming up on a podcast episode very soon. And I absolutely love her. I love chatting with her. She was a phenomenal interview. But she had mentioned that as well. And it's funny how that whole thing started where we met, because I had joined your Geek Out group. And I knew a few other people internally that were staying very active and just kind of getting really great and honest feedback from you guys, which we found so helpful. And I remember I had sent that message asking, like, can I interview you guys about 2.0 and get to know you a little bit more at Funnel Hacking Live? And it was like this moment where it's like, oh no, we've been infiltrated. There's an insider here.
That was when it became real. It was like, oh, we have like a lot of eyes on what we're doing. It was really, really cool though. And like, who knew a year later we'd have, me on here and Andrea speak on stage. Like, you guys don't know what can happen so quickly if you just keep moving forward. Like, just keep putting one foot in front of the next, and you don't know what's going to happen, and it can happen fast.
Yeah. And here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Okay, so we do have some a hacker hero. So Sam, that we were on the user spotlight, but now we're going to bring up one person that you've probably been seeing in our ClickFunnels community like crazy. James Curran, he's been killing it. He is one of the ClickFunnels ambassadors, but he's been dropping so much value in there. James has been posting videos on like helps, like how to do things. Like, here's how you can get unstuck in the CF2 email editor when the floating toolbar is covering the text you want to edit, right? Like I keep running into this problem, so I need to go watch that video. Mobile optimization. So he's like putting in a lot of software helps in there, and these are in the ClickFunnels official group. You can go watch these videos. He's killing it. He's so knowledgeable in the software. And he's also the linchpin funnels guy. Like, you're going to see so much content in the group. So shout out. Yeah.
And I see he's on the stream right now. James, we absolutely adore you. You're such a great ambassador. You're a great representative of all things we're doing here with ClickFunnels 2.0, and especially with Linchpin. And I think that there's going to be people asking a lot of questions, especially leading up to Funnel Hacking Live, knowing that there's a very strong theme happening here. So it's great to have you, and we appreciate all the content that you're creating.
Yes. Thanks, James. So shout out to James. He's our hacker hero today. Okay. And then do you want to talk about the next thing? We have Tim in the community who works with you. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. In fact, I'll just talk a little bit about like the teams that I work with here at ClickFunnels and kind of lead into this. So I'm very, very fortunate to have the job of communications director here at ClickFunnels. And what that means is I help with like key messaging and the things happening with new launches like 2.0 and what's happening with Funnel Hacking Live and some other big stuff that's coming up that's really exciting. And with that, I manage a few different teams. So I've got the social media team, the education team, the communications PR team, and the community outreach team. And we have some fantastic community outreach specialists that help us kind of translate what's happening with the product engineers and the things that they're releasing. And I don't know if you guys know this, but there are deploys in our 2.0 software happening every single day. At least every 24 hours, there's a new deploy of things happening in there, like small minor features to big ones that, we may be announcing, or, and then we have like our weeklies. And with these weeklies, we have Tim, who creates these videos, and we put them in the community for everybody to get like the top 3, 4, 5 important updates that have happened inside of ClickFunnels 2.0 in the last week. And he is just so great at bringing humor and, talking about the technical stuff in a way that feels so organic and approachable. I think a lot of people are like, I don't know about 2.0. It seems like there's a lot of features, a lot of functionality. It may be a little bit overwhelming. He breaks it down in such a fun way. And he does like memes, and he'll throw some, jokes in there. And it's really fun to see what he's doing. And you can catch those in the community. Every single Monday, he does some feature updates that are happening inside inside the software. So if you're always wondering like, what did they release recently? Or what can we expect? Or how does this work? How do I access it? What does it look like inside? That video every Monday will help guide you through that. So,
awesome.
So do we have footage on that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what we are going to do, we have a clip of one that we're going to show you right now. And then we are also going to go right into the outro of today's episode. So thank you guys for joining in and watching and hanging out with us today. And so we'll roll the Tim video and we'll go right into the outro. So we'll say, see you later.
Bye,
we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
What is up, Funnel Hackers? Tim here with the ClickFunnels community outreach team, and our annual event, Funnel Hacking Live, is literally just around the corner. If you've been enjoying all of my updates for ClickFunnels 2.0 that I've been giving you here, then you're going to be absolutely blown away when you hear what we have to announce at Funnel Hacking Live this year. To be honest, it is so tempting to not kind of spill the beans myself and tell you a few things here, but I've been sworn to secrecy, and to be honest, I'm not saying I'm threatened or anything, but I don't know, if I do speak, there's a chance some kind of ninja or something may come out and take me out. So for now, here are some awesome updates for last week. There's a notification bell in your ClickFunnels 2.0 dashboard that lets you know when a theme is downloaded, when a workspace is archived, and now you get notifications about your workflows and your funnels too. And of course, you could always dismiss each notification individually or all at once. Now, I usually don't talk about a lot of bug fixes in these videos, even though we are very capable of squashing some seriously nasty bugs around here. But I did want you to know that this week alone, we actually fixed 7 bugs. If you want to see in full detail what these bugs were, you can either go on your dashboard or go to clickfunnels.com/pulse and check them out there. All right, hang on a second. All right, real quick. I know I told you I was sworn to secrecy and that there's going to be some huge announcements that are super, extremely top secret for Funnel Hacking Live, right? However, you did stick to the end of this video, so Russell Brunson has some things he's going to talk about. However, I think I could kind of talk about it really quick right here. Can you believe we're about to add
My name is Russell Brunson, and I'm part of an underground group of entrepreneurs that you've probably never even heard of before. We don't rely on cash from venture capitalists to get started, and we don't even have goals to go public either. In fact, our motivation is the exact opposite. You see, we have products and services and things that we know change people's lives. But because we're fighting against the big brands, people with literally unlimited budgets, we have to do things differently. We have to do things smarter. We don't have financial safety nets because every test we take is with our own money. We have to be profitable from day number 1. So how do we do that? How is that even possible? If you ask the MBAs or look in your college textbooks, they will tell you that what we are doing is impossible, yet it's happening every single day. And it's happening through an art and a science that we call funnel hacking. It's not really something that I can explain to you. It's something I have to show to you. These stories are a glimpse of entrepreneurs just like you who have a dream and a vision who want to change the world in their own little way. I use the funnel hacking process to help make their dreams become a reality. Yes, we are funnel hackers, and these are our stories.